Hello, Naughty Akbo Woodcrafters back with you. I started another turning here. It's going to be another canister, a lot like the ones I've done, except it's going to be larger. We've got, it's mostly maple, maple, thin layers of maple. And there's one layer of mahogany in there, and the rest is walnut. So anyway, I started cutting into this thing. And we got a situation here. We got an ugly spot there, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it. But there's a knot. I want to use that knot, and I need to keep that knot in there. But I knew this was going to be in here, but I didn't realize it was going to be that large. So I had to figure out what to do with that. It's loose. See, that is old bark from where the branch come out here, and the main trunk was this way. And that's just a chunk of old bark that the wood grew around and enclosed it. Been in there for years. But now I cut into it, and it's larger than I thought it would be. But it's loose, and a little bit concerned about that thing. It might fly out of there, and then we're just going to have a great big hole that I'm going to have to fill in. So I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. I think what I might do is take some glue and just fill glue in around there and stabilize that thing so that as I'm cutting, because there's going to be more cutaway here, and as I'm cutting, that thing doesn't all fly out of there, and then I don't want a big hole to deal with. I'd like to leave some of that in there, because we're going to have to put some filler in there and work at it, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it all, but it'll work out. But I want to show you that, and we're just going to deal with that thing as we go, and it'll come out okay. I think it will. Okay, there's my glue dabbed on there. I'm just going to work that in there real good. I guess I'm old school. I just stick my fingers in there and rub it in there with the fingers. It cleans off real well. But this is Gorilla wood glue. Gorilla glue, not the super glue, but it's the wood, special wood formula. And it dries clear. And that's what I want. I want that to dry clear. But that's worked in there. So I think that's going to hold that in place. And of course, a lot of that'll get cut away as we're working on this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and work on it a while. I'm going to go ahead and video a lot of it while I'm doing it, and we'll show you how we make out with this thing. Okay, what I did, I put glue all over that thing, and I got a brainstorm about the rest of that hole that was there. Now, I just swept up some of these chips on the floor that were walnut colored. Had a little bit of light stuff mixed in with it. That didn't matter. And I filled in the rest of that hole, dabbed it with glue. So I don't know. We're going to find out. So I'm just going to let that dry overnight. And then tomorrow morning when I come out here, we'll start working on this thing, and well, we'll see how it's going to come out. And we'll keep you posted. We'll show you that. Okay, we filled that in there, and that's what it looks like. So we got chips of wood and glue and a whole bunch, and it's dried good. So that's what it looks like now. So we're going to find out. I'm going to go ahead and start turning this thing, and we'll see how it comes out. Well, we've made some progress on our little project here. We've got the lid polished and cut off. A little work to do on that bottom yet. We'll do that later. But there that is. We've got it partially hollowed out. Long ways to go on that yet at this point. We've got the apple shape pretty much the way I like it. Coming out pretty good. But it's time to address our problem here on the other side. That big old ugly hole we had. But anyway, it's coming along. I have refilled it again because as I cut away, actually the bad spot actually got a little smaller, but it was still pretty deep. Some of it, most of it was there. I filled it in again with glue. The glue is dried. I also took some wood chips, picked up off the floor so that they had about the same color, and just put them on there when that glue was wet and just worked them into that glue real good. So that's what we have now. We have, so of course, you know, it stands up a little bit, so we need to work with it. So I think it's time to work with this thing and address this thing and see what happens. I'm gonna just cut away at this real gently till it's cut down even with the rest of the surface, and then we'll see what we have, and we'll decide what to do from that point on. So let's go ahead and work on it. Okay, now we've got that cut down pretty much flush with the rest of the turning there. So I'm going to hit it with some coarse sandpaper now and see what that does for it. Okay, here's what we have so far. Now we've got some low spots in there, and that's fine. I want to fill that in with some walnut colored wood filler, and then we'll sand that back down. You know, it's not going to look, well, you know what? Compared to some of this that's in the wood naturally, that's part of a kind of a burl type deal. And that side, okay, hey, so we have the knot, and we have this dark area down here, and I'm going to fill in with that walnut filler, and that's going to give a little bit of contrast because it's doesn't perfectly match the color that I have here. And so yeah, I think it'll turn out pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we'll have to see how that turns out. But I'm happy with it so far. I think it's going to be okay. Okay, there's our wood filler put on there. It dries a little lighter than that. You can see where it's starting to dry around the edge. The center of this knot, there was a little hole there, and I put some filler in that. And that's okay. It leaves a little contrast, kind of highlights the center of that knot, and that's good. That'll work out fine. So we're going to let this dry. Then we're going to sand it down and see what we have. See what it looks like. Okay, here's what we have. We got this thing filled in, and well, there it is. What you see is what you get. And we got it smoothed up pretty much. So I think compared to what we had, we're in pretty good shape. So I'm going to do some real fine sanding on here now with some 320 grit sandpaper. Then we're going to put some beeswax on there, and we'll be ready to cut it off, and it'll be a done deal. Okay, we got the glare of the light shining on it, but the grain, that just brought the grain out beautifully on that piece. And of course our transgression here is still there, but it's sure not what it was. But polishing up with that beeswax just kind of lightened, brought out that grain real nice. So I'm happy with this. And I think the person I'm making it for is going to be happy too. So, okay, we're going to cut it off here soon, and it'll be finished.